Good afternoon. My name is Shawn Karstens. I've been a volunteer with Guiding Eyes since 2008. I've raised 4 puppies, 2 of whom are working guides now. And I'm also the advisor for the new Guiding Eyes Club here at Alfred University. AU joins other institutions including Cornell University, Hartwick College, Ithaca College, and the University of Delaware in supporting college puppy raisers. We are so grateful to Alfred University for welcoming these remarkable dogs to campus. Guiding Eyes is a nonprofit, internationally recognized guide dog school based in Westchester County, New York. Guiding Eyes has placed over 7,000 dogs since 1954, all free of charge to the visually impaired. We raise these puppies with the goal of providing freedom and independence to another person. I am so proud to work with these 5 young ladies who have made the space and the time in their college careers to join our local puppy raising region here in the Southern Tier. They will share with you the joys and the challenges of raising a puppy on campus. As a side note, anyone who is willing to put the time into it that these young ladies have can raise a puppy with us or become a sitter. Today you'll learn about that process, and I will stick around afterward to help answer any questions. And to help out with questions today, we also have some of our local puppy raisers, Elizabeth and Marlene, over there in the corner as well. You don't have to be a student to be a puppy raiser. And we also have, let's see, we have Gibbs here, 1, 2, 3, and then there's a secret dog hiding over there by Elizabeth as well. So first up, we have Sarah with her puppy Scampy and prospective raiser Imani to tell you about their experiences. Thank you.
Well, I'm Imani. I am a junior here at Alfred. I got involved with this program basically my freshman year when I saw Darrow and Carissa on campus. And it took me a while to make the commitment. I was kind of deciding back and forth whether I wanted to spend a lot of time with a puppy or just do it part-time or not at all. At first, there are plenty of different things that you have to go through before you actually become a raiser. You start off with the puppy classes in Hornell. So you go up and you work with someone and their puppy, and you basically learn the basic commands of sit, stay, heel, all the other things that they need for their basic skills and relationship skills. You also need to perform puppy sits, which is when you take a puppy for a day or a weekend or even a week, and that is when you make your real commitment, whether you decide, can I actually spend real time sitting the puppy, and how will this affect my actual life when I have a puppy, between when I can come back and spend time with the puppy, when I can do homework in the library. There are also puppy pre-placement classes, which is when you sit down and you learn more about the organization itself, and you also learn how maybe your schedule might change. Like if you have an 8:20 class and you normally wake up at 7:30, you might need to change your schedule to wake up even at 6 just to get the puppy up and moving. We also have homework like any other class. You would watch videos and even learn how to navigate the site and how to teach the different commands that the dogs need to know before moving on.
Hi, my name is Sarah Richards, and that is my puppy Scampy. She is about 5 months old. I first got introduced to the program when I was taking a tour of Alfred before I even came here, when I was a senior in high school. And my tour guide told me about the program. And then last year, when Casey Duncan got her puppy Jordan, she started working with me and teaching me about the program and helping me learn like the commands and what it's like to work with a guide dog. And that really got me introduced to the program and let me see if it's something that I'm interested in. And she started taking me to some of the classes last year. And then last semester was when I decided to really become committed to the program. I started going to the classes regularly. And then about 3 months in is when I got Scampy. And I got Scampy when I went home for winter break. And we had about a whole month and a half to really work together and form a bond, because working with a guide dog, you really need a bond together to get your training. And so I guess that is one of the biggest things about coming to campus is you still have to work with your bond. And even though I don't have as much time to work with her, because of course I have classes and I have work and I have a bunch of other things going on like all the other raisers on campus, I still have to figure out her needs and figure out mine. And then also, of course, there's people everywhere, which has its positives and negatives. The positives, of course, there's lots of friends for her to play with. When I'm busy, of course, I have classes and I have work, like I said, and I have homework. I have my roommate and she'll take care of her, and I have my friends and I'll give her a ball and I have her tug toy and they'll take her for a little while and they'll play with her, and that's great for me because I have to get my stuff done, and she has so much energy being 5 months old. And so she'll play with her, and that's great about having people on campus, whereas when I was at home it was just me and I was following her around making sure she wasn't getting into everything. And also for her, she loves saying hi to people. She's a dog and she loves just the connection with everybody. However, like I said before, the bond between a raiser and a dog in Guiding Eyes is just so important. And being on campus, there isn't always that people don't know about the bond and they don't know how to interact with a Guiding Eyes dog. And so they come up to, they see a puppy and they get so excited and they just come running up and they don't know the correct way to approach a Guiding Eyes dog, which we will show later with Haley's dog, Gibbs, the correct way. So that kind of can hinder the training. But also, on campus, there's so many opportunities. For example, being in this building. If I was at home, I wouldn't have facilities like this. Whereas, for example, Scampy, she has her bandana. She isn't ready to go into places like Walmart or Wegmans. Whereas Gibbs, he has his vest, so he can. So it's great having an opportunity to bring her and practice her socialization skills. We also can bring them into classes and to our work. Also, it's the other thing we have to take into account, it's not just fun and games. There's a lot of responsibility raising a guide dog. Between classes, I have to come back to my room and I have to bring her, I have to take her outside to go to the bathroom. I have to get all her energy out, you know, do all those things to really take care of Scampy and get her needs, sometimes before mine. And that's something to consider when you have a guide dog, especially on campus. But of course, there is so much love, and you wake up every day and you go to bed every night with a puppy, and that is always the best part about raising a guide dog, is the cuddling and the playtime and having so many wonderful experiences. And now I'd like to introduce Kat and Haley and Haley's dog Gibbs to talk about the teenage years about raising a guide dog.
Hello there. My name is Kat. This is Haley, and this lovely young gentleman is Gibbs. We've come today to talk about the importance of campus and guide dog training. So within Guiding Eyes for the Blind, we have a program called, or our training technique is called STEP, which is Successive Training and Enrichment Program, which really just means that we teach dogs in little steps. So as you could see with Scampy on stage, she was constantly being fed treats. Her attention was being pulled away from the surroundings. But with Gibbs, we only have to reward him every few minutes, every 30 seconds, to keep his attention. So for the first 3 months of their, well, I'll back up for a second. As Sarah was saying, relationships are one of the most important points in Guiding Eye training. So for the first 3 months, dogs and their trainers will build a very strong relationship, and they'll use what's called a lure. So they use a treat to teach a dog a trick, or really a skill. After the dog has learned the skill well enough, they will get treats less and less frequently. So they'll move to learning via a hand signal and voice only. And treats will come intermittently. Eventually the dog won't need hand signals, they'll be able to go by just voice, or they won't need voice and they can go by just hand signals. So these skills are extremely important for the socialization of a dog. So, sorry, it's backwards. Maybe? I don't know. Sorry, we're missing a slide. Go on.
So, what happens when a dog has their back? When a dog has their back, it basically means they're allowed to go anywhere. So, like Sarah said, if she's not ready to go to Walmart or Wegmans yet, now that Gibbs has the back, she can go to places like that and try to see the black light. But also, what comes with these experiences is a dog that can get more stressed out. Signs of them being stressed can be them scratching And with that, we have Casey and Emily who present to be a volunteer there after they go back for instant training at Guiding Eyes.
Hello, my name's Emily Reckon. I have just finished raising Jester.
And I'm Casey. I raised Jordan, and they left together last weekend, and they were brothers from the same litter.
Yes, as shown here, this is their father, Dell. Kind of hard. It hasn't even been a week yet without my dog. But Jester was 16 months old, so as you can read, they usually leave to go back to the Guiding Eyes headquarters around that time. It's not a definite guarantee. It depends on when the date lines up for Guiding Eyes, what works easiest for them. So, the facility is in Yorktown Heights, which I said, as mentioned earlier. It's about an hour north of New York City. So we drove out there, for their IFT test, which is, stands for In for Training. This is a test. We'll get into the details later of what the test consists of. But we knew our results within a day or so. And should we give them the results now?
I think they can wait.
Okay. We'll make you wait. We'll be in suspense about the results.
If any of you like our Facebook page, you know already.
Yeah.
So, we dropped them off in Yorktown Heights, like Emily said, last Saturday at their training facility headquarters. And it's a lot different than being at home. If any of you have ever dropped off your own pet at like a boarding kennel, a kennel setting is a lot different than being in a crate in the room. It's a lot louder because of the concrete and the dogs barking everywhere. But they do their absolute best to make it as comfortable for the dogs as possible. They do this by having a roommate system. So all the dogs have
Yes. Okay. We can't hold it in any longer. So both of the brothers did pass their test. So it was that makes it all worth it.
They were roommates in college, and now they're in public college, and they're going to be having fun going through training together, hopefully.
Okay. So this IFT test, like you just explained how it's a reaction sort of test. It's not a pass or fail test. The dog can be really good, above average, below average, or be released. But let's say they do pass. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a guide dog 100%. Not all dogs are made for that type of work. It's a lot of work to ask of a dog. So listed above are some other options that Guiding Eyes works with, other organizations that these dogs can go to. For example, what I think is pretty neat is the police canine unit. If they end up going there, the dogs become that policeman's dog. So they go in, they work, and then they can go home with the guy. So it's asking them to work, but not all the time. So it depends on the dog and how much they can handle. So that's what's so nice about these other options. You know, it's not, your dog didn't do good, he's out of the book. So I have some examples here. Sorry, I'm going to reference them. We have Summer, who was raised in our region. She graduated, or is about to graduate in Connecticut safely, so she's there. Madison, as was mentioned before, she went into, she was raised by a raiser over there, and she went into healing autism. So that actually requires more training than guide dog training. She has been in for over a year, I believe. So it's a very long program, but she's doing good. Kirby actually was raised on his campus. He was here last year. He is about to graduate in 2 days.
Yeah, this
2
weekend.
days as a guide dog, so his graduation is coming up. So that's really great. Like I said, he was raised by another college student, Ellie. Lastly, I have Nate. Nate was raised in our southern tier region here, and he actually went in to as a therapy dog after Sandy Hook happened. So it's really amazing when dogs can go into where they end up. It's really great.
Yeah. So just because they may not be suited for guide dog work because it is very stressful, they're given a lot of other opportunities to help serve people. So
Here's some cute pictures. We thought you'd enjoy these. There's Casey and there's Jordan with his face. So that face. And that is me up there with my dog Jester having a little love session on the ground with both the brothers, tired out after a play date. So I guess this slide we really just wanted to kind of do a quick, we have the time, a quick little 15-month journey in 2 minutes. So I just, it hasn't even been a week yet since I've been without my dog, and geez, you put all these sheep in front of me, I started talking, whoa. But I've been reminiscing, and wow, it really changes you, Okay. So overall, I've learned how to become cliche, but just a better person. I'm a better learner. I'm a better organizer. I'm a better lover. I'm a better friend. In this program, you will do anything for your dog. You will help out any of your raisers if they need a puppy sit. I've had 2 dogs at once before at campus, puppy sitting for a weekend. That's a lot to handle with all your homework, and it's shaped me incredibly. And now that my dog's gone, I'm really starting to realize that when he was here, I was going through the motions. I'm like, okay, I got to go back to my dorm, got to feed him, walk him, play with him. see a guide dog sitting quietly in a restaurant does not mean it's not working. For the guide dog to sit there quietly in a restaurant is work. Very, very tough work, actually. So if you ask to pet a guide dog and are told, I'm sorry, he's working, please respect and hand my cushion. So, and this is what he says, his personal experiences. So he says, I'm more lenient than most guide dog handlers. His dog's name is Nash, sorry. If Nash and I aren't moving, I do let people pet him, especially women and kids, but I do have to warn them that Nash is a licker. There's nothing more frightening to a blind guy than to hear an ear-piercing scream as a kid lets out as your dog's tongue flirts the kid's face, and the mom storms away. Hey, your kid wanted to pet Nash, and Nash wanted to lick your kid. He's a dog. What do you expect? So I really just wanted to share that to show the importance of asking and doing these correct procedures in order to pet this dog, but that they also still are dogs. So it's really, we're here, it's just important. So.
Yeah, and just kind of to add on to that, if any of you knew Jordan, you knew how loving he was, like typical lab, I want to be around people all the time. And I always kind of equated walking Jordan on campus to walking a purple unicorn down Main Street. And like people laugh, but I'm totally serious. Like people will come up to me and like, oh my gosh, and I'm so excited to see a puppy on campus like they've never seen a dog before. And that was great, and I was so happy to like let them pet Jordan. But he had a really hard time with saying hi to people appropriately, like we saw kids do earlier, just because he would get so excited. And when people would come running up to me screaming how much they wanted to pet Jordan, I was happy they wanted to pet him, but it wasn't helping his training at all. And kind of just to add on to what Emily said, going through this process, while it was very tough to do during college and taking jobs and things like that, it was probably the best decision I made here at Alfred to do. Having a pal coming home to every day and working with constantly, it really helped better organize me, and it added something to my experience here at Alfred that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. And I met so many great people through him and having him, and people know me because of him. So if you're on the fence about it, I would highly encourage you to think about it.
That's nice.
So this is just some information if you're curious at all. GuidingEyes.org is the website, and we are the Southern Tier region here in Alfred. We meet in Cornell twice a month, every other week. And we also have a Facebook page. We post lots of puppy pictures, so please like us. We're great. And that's our email address. And just one thing I kind of want to add, and it actually has to deal with what Dr. Westcott first spoke about the dogs being in this building. And I wasn't really going to bring it up at this forum, but as a result of this week, I think I should. These dogs are given permission to be in the building. Each individual raiser, we tell them that they have to go ask every single person on this campus that's in charge of the building if that dog can go in there. That we don't assume that the dog is allowed in. And Gibbs and Stampy also have identifying markers that make them a guiding dog, or guide dog in training, that allows them into buildings. So they're not pets, and I don't think people understand that as well as they should. And I know a lot of students and even faculty have brought in their pets to work, and I have been told that our health department, it was a big struggle to get this on campus and for people to allow students that live on campus to have these dogs. And I was told that if it continues to be an issue where people are bringing their pets in consistently, people are trying to sneak pets in and have them live with them in the suite, that the Guiding Eyes program won't be able to continue here on campus. It is a big issue, and people are allergic, people have phobias of dogs. So we as raisers try to educate people, ask people to leave, because we don't want that to be the case. It's not because we hate you or we hate your dog. We love dogs, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this.
It's not that.
It's really just about the fact that we want to try to keep this program on campus as long as possible. So, and I guess just now,